Joining in.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And I just want to let everybody know that Jen tried out our my Rosalie's recipes and my recipe to fit eating. And Jen, you got some great results.
I did. You know what? It's funny. So I have worked out. I mean, obviously, I followed your journey, but I've worked out my entire, I'd say, as long as I can remember, healthy eating. And I come from a family where we're loving family, but tend to be a little bit overweight and diabetes. So I was like determined not to do it. But what shocked me, obviously, I look at you and your energy and just how you're defying aging. And I just thought I want to give a try from the recipe book. And so I'm shocked at how much more I have trimmed down in my waist. And it's crazy because I'm eating more and I'm not hungry or eating the sugars after my meals. And I actually don't love eggs, but I actually love a couple of your recipes in there. Like I don't love them on their own, but you mix them up so nicely with proteins. And so I've just been so thrilled with the results.
That's great. And it was all my followers that continue to encourage me to share the recipes that I was just sharing once in a while. Many of you know I've been in the industry for many, many years. And lucky for me, I've had companies reach out to me with new fitness equipment and ask if I would run testimonial programs. And obviously working with clients, they would ask about eating plans. And so it was really on my quest for many years to find an eating plan that kept up my energy, that definitely tightened up my waistline. And years ago when I was working with Suzanne Summers, she's actually the one that really inspired me to look at my sugars. Back when we're 25 and 35, let's just face it, many of us, our metabolisms are much different than we're in our 50s and our 60s. A lot of times we talk about this menopausal middle. And, listening to my elders, Suzanne Summers, a few years older than me, and, she was quite against sugars and what it did to your body. And what I found personally, when I had sugar in my diet, it affected my mood. And my good friend would say to me, your mood's only being affected because you're feeling guilty about having that cheat. And I said, no, I'm not feeling guilty. I, planned it in my day. It had nothing to do with guilt. But after I had a lot of sugars, and I'm going to include like the breads, the pizzas as a sugar, because that's how your body treats sugar, same way your body treats sugars. I just found I was very moody. I was kind of cranky. Of course, I was then craving it again. So trying to get back on track, I found it harder. So I just started sharing these little fit tips with many of my clients saying, when I have less bread, when I have less pasta, and I have a very strong Italian heritage, so they look at me like I'm a crazy woman when I'm just like, that pasta doesn't seem to agree with me. So when I was just taking that out of my diet, and as a mom, my children really like their grains. So I was often cooking grains separately, and I was noticing I was feeling better. And when Suzanne Summers put out her eating plan, she asked me to try it, which was very much reducing sugars. And within 1 week, I could tell a big difference in my body. I wasn't bloated. My joints weren't achy. Many of my followers know that I've had both of my hips replaced. And again, that was just another side effect of the breads, the rices, the sugars in my body, making my body feel cranky. So during COVID, I just thought, what a better project than to, get all these recipes together, lay it down. And my cousin helped me a lot with laying this out. So I'm really grateful to her. And grateful to all my followers that have made this a success. But my role as a trainer has always been to give you the tools. I felt really bad as a trainer when I would go on holidays and my clients would stop working out or just not, they needed to have that trainer. And I just said, I don't want to be that person where people have to have their trainer. I wanted to give my clients the skills so they could have their workouts. So that's why I got my YouTube channel up and going. So here's the workout. You don't have to wait for me. And then the same thing with the diet plan is this is exactly how I eat. When a company hires me to do a testimonial group, and I just did a 21-day fitness study with 12 women, and 10 of the 12 women lost between 7 and 11 pounds in 21 days.
Oh, wow.
Doing the Eat Fit way. And one of them was actually a vegetarian. And my vegetarian was my #1 weight loss. And she said,
wow.
basically, all I did was I substituted cauliflower rice for real rice. And 21 days later, 11 pounds down.
Wow. Did she incorporate like beef or like any meat, or she's
No, it was all tofu and beans. So she stayed true to being a vegetarian, but just was, you know, more selective in what she had. Now, Jen,
That's awesome.
I want you to let all my audience know about your amazing performance underwear.
I appreciate that.
They're amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, you know, they say necessity is the mother, you know, of invention. And so I was at the gym doing, you know, like I said, I'm at the gym all the time. I was doing some kettlebell swings, and I got a glimpse of the dreaded camel toe. And I was like, sweet baby Jesus. I don't know if I never just noticed it, but in that moment, I started to look for a product on the market, and I couldn't find it. And so my niece actually said, well, Jen, she was a cheerleader at the time, and she said, you know, Aunt Jen, we stick these little inserts in so it covers up. So I do this makeshift insert. I'm doing laps around the gym, and the instructor stops and picks something up off the floor. She's like, does this belong to somebody? Well, it was the pad that was in my drawers. And so I was like, that actually was the genesis of Hawks, was like, we need something that's stitched in. And so what started off as a need for, you know, to cover camel toe, it just has evolved. And so talking to many women, you know, they're concerned about odor and moisture. And so so here's the underwear here. And what makes these different is they have this insert, which is made out of bamboo charcoal. And so anyone who works in the medical community will know that they use bamboo charcoal for wound care because it pulls out odor and moisture. So we thought, my sister's in healthcare, so she you know, shared that research with me, and so that we combined sort of the coverage with something much greater. And so this is just the beginning. We have 2 products, a thong and a hipster, and then we're just taking feedback from our community, and so we're going to evolve our product line. And so our next on deck is we're working on putting the insert right into the yoga pant, because so many women have said, I don't want to fuss with undies when I'm working out. And so we're listening. So we appreciate all the feedback. And I, you know, obviously, Rosalie, appreciate your support as well.
Yeah, they're great. And I can't believe the difference that they make. Like, they're just fantastic. And I am looking for more product with that lining in it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Again, I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. Again, it's World Appreciation Day. And Jen and I appreciate our followers and the support that we've received. Thank you so much. At the end of our chat, we are going to be giving away 3 recipe books and 3 pairs of the Huxwear performance underwear. But again, how this journey started was just really how my body reacted to grains and sugars, and how I really realized that I felt so much better. My waistline was so much better. My energy was so much better. My body wasn't achy and sore. But I think what most of all it did for me was it stopped the constant cravings and the constant, you know, what else can I have to snack on? So a few of the fitness tips that I give my clients is to try and put protein in your mouth first. It's first of all, your digestive system is your #1 calorie burning system. It takes a lot of work for your body. Your body burns calories when it's breaking down food, and protein takes a lot of work to break down. And protein, we know, keeps us satiated. And why I say no grains rather than low carbohydrate is because I'm a friend of all fruits and all vegetables. I really do believe they have a place in our diet. with the fiber content and the vitamins and the nutrients. Do we have to be cautious around some types of foods? Sure. But a food like a potato, we're finding that it ranks very high on the satiating index. And that's something that we need to consider with our food is it keeping us full? And that's what protein does. That's what things like sweet potatoes does. That's what things like eggs do. And we live in a great time. We have some incredible sweeteners that we can add to foods. In front of me, I've got my kidney bean chocolate chip cookies. And that just hits the spot for me. And every time and it's basically kidney bean, vanilla protein powder. These are stevia chocolate chips, peanut butter. You can use almond butter. And again, saving me tons of calories compared to a regular cookie, not having me eat all the cookies. And the same thing with the pizza, which so many of you, thank you so much, that when you make the recipes that you share that you've made them. But this is so easy. And I'm not eating the whole pizza pie after 2 slices. I'm like, I'm good. I think it's the first time in my life that I've ever had leftover pizza. Leftover pizza just wasn't something I've had. And, protein from eggs. In the recipe book, we share sheet pancakes. So you don't have to spend your time flipping them over. They all cook nice and evenly. But this is my sheet pancake recipe done in mini muffins. And I think this is a regular size muffin. My grandkids love it. I love it. And again, it doesn't taste eggy, even though the full egg is being used. And the protein balls, cocoa powder. I'm very careful when I'm using cocoa powder because I find it does spike my energy. So if I'm going to put a recipe with cocoa powder in it, I make sure I have that earlier in my day, because if I have the cocoa powder at night, it does keep me awake. So again, I am so pleased that so many of you are getting great results. Again, we just tested it with 12 women for 21 days. And my big concern is that they're satiated. I don't want people to go hungry. 2 of the girls that did the study have been involved with fitness for a long time. And they said to me, we've done counting calories, we've done counting macros. And they said what they love about this system is that it keeps you satiated, and you don't really have to. I know I don't count calories. If I'm eating something that's good and healthy for me, guilt-free. And again, now that we've got these little recipes with our little snacks, it definitely keeps me, I'm so happy I'm eating pizza once a week.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's great. And that's the biggest thing I would say about the book is how I just don't have those cravings. It's just gone, and I feel full. The other thing that I love that you do in the book is you sort of give tips, right? It's so not just recipes, like your tip about, like, if you're not hungry enough to eat an egg or an apple, you're probably not that hungry, right? Which it's a good check.
You know what? I've been being in the industry for so long. I remember when it was all low fat was the fad. You're right. We have to, and I'm also a big fan of intermittent fasting. Being a fitness trainer and doing a lot of my training in the morning, having breakfast just never sat well in my stomach. So it's been years since I've had any food before noon. And that worked really well for my body. And when I had my first son, I noticed he was not a breakfast eater. And you tend to want to, feed your kids the breakfast. And I'm like, why am I fighting with this healthy, brilliant child? And that doesn't feel like eating breakfast. So yeah, we're looking at a lot of the things that were sort of ingrained in us and taking a second look going, and just taking that moment to go, am I eating because it's 12 o'clock or am I eating because I'm hungry? Mm-hmm. And that apple egg rule, works for me all the time. Am I hungry enough to have a hard-boiled egg? Am I hungry enough for an apple? And if yes, then I'm hungry. If not, I'm bored. and some of my tricks for, because a lot of us are nighttime snackers, is to try to get a hobby at night, whether it's crocheting, keeping your hands busy, knitting, painting, puzzling, helps a lot with that. So I get that question asked a lot is, I'm a nighttime snacker. And I'm a big fan of the popcorn makers in the coconut oil or the olive oil. There's high fiber in your popcorn, very low calorie. So it's definitely a great snack that I suggest in my book as well.
Yeah, there's lots of snack options. I would say I forgot about popcorn, and that's so easy to do it on the stove top, right?
Yes, and there's great popcorn machines out there too. Matter of fact, Walmart right now has a really awesome one on sale. And when anyone asks me about, is there a magic supplement or a magic pill? My number one answer is caffeine.
Oh, is that
if
right?
you're feeling low in energy, coffee, green tea, that if there's anything magic in our world to help boost your workouts, that's usually my standard answer.
And Rosalie, do you work out 7 days a week?
I move my body 7 days a week.
Okay.
I definitely aim for 10,000 steps a day. I do serious workouts, I would say 5 days a week.
Okay.
I'm a big, big, big fan of total body workouts.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of starting my day with a workout. But yeah, getting those 10,000 steps and trying to move your body every hour. We're now talking about what we call NEAT activity, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this is all the activities that we do that we don't have to wear exercise gear. So things like taking the stairs, parking further away, going for your walk, getting those 10,000 steps in. And I think people underestimate the power of those mini snack size movements that all add up in their daily calorie burning. And often these mini snack size movements can actually add up to more calories burned than a traditional workout. And I know these last 2 years with the pandemic, we've probably been sitting more than ever. And I think the one great thing that's come out of the pandemic is that we've given pause to our health and our wellness and our immunity. And I think many of us realize, we got to sort of pull up our big girl performance underwear.
I love it.
And, group fitness is my favorite thing, and seeing and working with my clients. And, realizing that we've got to take charge. Find out what you love to do and then do that over and over again. And with regards to your eating plans, if what you're doing is working for you, that's awesome. But if what you're doing isn't working for you, if you're tired and sluggish, your bones are achy, you're not getting the results that you think you want, maybe try the Eat Fit way. It's not about starving. It's about choosing a lot of foods that have the single ingredient and just a few tricks. And I'm all about the easy cooking. This is not, as you know, Jen, they're not complicated recipes.
At all.
It's easy peasy.
Totally. That's what I think that's what I appreciated the most as a busy mom, working, 2 jobs, I just thought where has this been my whole life? And so I shared it with my friends, and I cannot believe the difference. And again, coming from somebody who's been very mindful of what I put in, what I eat, and how often I'm working out. So it's interesting how important food is even relative to exercise. And you would know this more than me, but I have a girlfriend who worked out and then got injured and couldn't work out, and so has been able to maintain her, her figure, her energy, just because she's very mindful of what she's putting in. So
I love you that you said that, because that is the true test of your eating plan. If you can maintain your weight and not exercise, you are on the right eating plan. And again, when I recently did this 21-day study, I had some very fit people that had weight to lose, and I had brand new people that moving their body for 30 minutes was a challenge. And I think it was a real light bulb moment for those intense exercisers to see, just what the amazing changes that can happen to your body when you choose whole foods, when you're really, again, more aware of your grains. Our society is very, very pro-grain, and it's getting easier. There's some great recipes out there. Again, I think how my Eat Fit book differs a bit is that I'm a friend to all fruits and vegetables.
Right. It was so funny. My girlfriend who I was talking about just chimed in. She said, "Were you talking about me?" Yes, Isabel, I was talking about you. I was like, how can you maintain this little figure and you're not working out? She's injured, and so it's her eating. So
yeah, and I think we've all been tested. You know, we've all had that energy. We've all been where we can't move our bodies like we want to move our bodies. And again, why this Eat Fit works for me is it keeps me happier. It stops me from constantly searching for food because, and I always, my motto actually is treat grains as a treat, but beware. Because I find when I have my grains, it's not just that one cheat day. It can take a few days to get your body away from wanting more and more and more. So I'm a big fan of finding a substitute. You know, if there's something that you love, my goal is to find something that we can replace that you will love just as much, but make a better impact on your body, keep you happier. Not, you know, after we've had that treat and then be angry at ourselves because we had that treat. You know, when you have a kidney bean chocolate chip cookie, you're not angry. And you're not overdoing it, you know, because it doesn't have that high sweetness to it as well.
Right.